Hi everyone. I was thinking lately I get really bored. So, thought something nice to do would be to do a kind of online book club. I guess you could pronounce it as that. I'm going to be reading a chapter from a book every day, and after that chapter, I will tell you guys what everything means, and everything like that. If this gets really popular, you guys can comment books down below, and I'll go buy them, and we can do that. But for today, I will be doing 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. It is fiction, but it is very realistic fiction. I've read it once, but I don't remember everything, so it'll be like I'm going over everything with you guys again. But yeah, I thought it'd be something fun to do. And if you are blind and you can't read and you don't feel like getting the braille version of it, well, you can listen to me read it. My voice goes a little fast sometimes, but if it's too much for you guys can comment and tell me, and I'll try my best to slow down. Um, so let me read the back to you guys. You can't stop the future. You can't rewind the past. The only way to learn the secret is to press play. Clay Jensen doesn't want anything to do with the tapes Hannah Baker made. Hannah is dead. Her secret should be buried with her. Then Hannah's voice tells Clay that his name is on her tapes, and that he is in some way responsible for her death. All through the night, Clay keeps listening. He follows Hannah's recorded words throughout his small town, and what he discovers changes his life forever. So what happens in the story is a young girl named Hannah Baker goes through this very, very rough time in her life. Just like every teenager goes through it. She gets depressed, everyone bullies her, she's not wanted, she doesn't feel like she's liked at all, which when you read the story or when you listen to me read it, you will understand why. And the sad part is this could easily be nonfiction. This could very easily be nonfiction because people use people and hurt people, and they don't understand how much it can destroy someone. That's why depression is so here. Like, it's everywhere you look, and every single person has a bit of depression in them because everyone is mean to everyone. Like, there is no humanity left, I don't think, in this world. Everyone is out for themselves. That's why I usually don't talk to people. But I guess this would be a nice thing to do. Like, if you really want to learn about depression, but you don't want to get a book, you don't want to be embarrassed about buying a book and reading it, or if you wanted to read this book, but you just didn't have the time, well, here's your chance. Listen to me read it, and then if you want, I can discuss some things about it. Like, if you guys comment down below and you tell me if you wanted to talk about something, then I can record it in another video, or you can message me and I'll message you back, and then we can talk about it if you want. I personally have depression myself, so if you need to talk or if you need someone, I'm a good person to go to. I don't tell anyone's business. It's none of anyone's business what me and a person talk about. I always keep my promises. I don't tell secrets. They're yours, not mine. And if you tell me something and you just want me to forget about it, I'll completely forget about it. Not literally, but like, I'll pretend I never knew anything about it, no matter what. So I guess we should probably start into this. I personally really enjoyed this book not because, I don't mean like the sadistic way I liked it, I mean, I like how real it is, because not a lot of books will even venture into depression or anxiety because they're scared to be brutally honest, because this does happen. Girls, boys, kids, little kids, literally will commit suicide or cut themselves. They'll hurt themselves and they'll blame everything on themselves, and it's so sick that somebody can make someone feel that way, and it's terrifying, honestly, to watch people get hurt like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. That's not like what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to because the depression is really sick. So I just kind of don't want this to be super hard. I kind of want this to be a little bit easy because I don't want to go back into depression. So in the inside of the book, you can see the map of Hannah's house all around, or Hannah's neighborhood, not her house. It's her neighborhood, and there's a bunch of places marked in it, which I will go back in the book. I will go back in the book and I will show you guys what places she's talking about, because Clay has to go all over her neighborhood finding the places that she puts in the tapes. Alright, let's go to the beginning. There's a lot of stuff at the beginning. Okay. Sir, she repeats. How soon do you want it to get there? I rub 2 fingers hard over my left eyebrow. The throbbing has become intense. It doesn't matter, I say. The clerk takes the package, the same shoebox that's on my porch less than 24 hours ago, rewrapped in a brown paper bag, sealed with clear packing tape exactly as I had received it, but now addressed with a new name, the next name on Hannah Baker's list. Baker's dozen, I mumble. Then I feel disgusted for even noticing it. Excuse me? I shake my head. How much is it? She places the box on a rubber pad, then punches the sequence on her keypad. I set my cup of the gas station coffee on the counter and glance at the screen. I pull a few bills from my wallet, dig some coins out of my pocket, and place my money on the counter. I don't think that coffee's kicked in yet, she says. You're missing $1. I hand over the extra $1, then rub the sleep from my eyes. The coffee is lukewarm when I take a sip, making it harder to gulp down. But I need to wake up somehow. Or maybe not. Maybe it's best to get through the day half asleep. Maybe that's the only way to get through today. It should arrive at the address tomorrow, she says. Maybe the day after tomorrow. Then she drops the box into a cart behind her. I should have waited till after school. I should have given Jenny one final day of peace, though she doesn't deserve it. When she gets home tomorrow or the next day, she'll find a package on her doorstep, or if her mom or dad or someone else gets there first. Maybe she'll find it on her bed. Then she'll be excited. I was excited. A package with no return address? Did they forget, or was it intentional? Maybe from a secret admirer. Do you want your receipt? The clerk asked. I shake my head. A small printer clicks out. Anyway, I watch her tear a slip, then serrated plastic, and drop it into a waste bin. There's only one post office in town. I wonder if the same clerk helped the other people on the list. Those who got this package before me. Did they keep the receipts as 6 souvenirs? Turn them into their underwear drawers? Pin them up on their corkboards? I almost ask for my receipt back. I almost say, I'm sorry, can I have it after all, as a reminder? But if I wanted a reminder, I could have made copies of the tapes or saved the map. But I never wanted to hear those tapes again. Though her voice will never leave my head, and the houses, the streets, and the high school will always be there to remind me. It's out of my control now. The package is on its way. I leave the post office without receipt. Deep behind my left eyebrow, my head is still pounding. Every swallow tastes sour. The closer I get to school, the closer I come to collapsing. I want to collapse. I want to fall on the sidewalk right there and drag myself into ivy, because just beyond the ivy, the sidewalk curves. Following the outside of the school parking lot, it cuts to the front lawn and into the main building. It leads through the front doors and turns into a hallway, which meanders between rows of lockers and classrooms on both sides, finally entering the always open door to first period. At the front of the room, facing the students, will be the desk of Miss Porter. He'll be the last to receive a package with no return address, and in the middle of the room, one desk to the left, will be the desk of Hannah Baker. Empty. Yesterday, 1 hour after school. A shoebox-sized package is propped against the front door at an angle. Our front door has a tiny slot to shove mail through, but anything thicker than a bar of soap gets left outside. A hurried scribble on the wrapping addresses the package to Clay Jensen, so I pick it up and head inside. I take the package into the kitchen and set it on the counter. I slide open the junk drawer and pull out a pair of scissors. Then I run the scissor blade across the package and lift off its top. Inside the shoebox is a rolled-up tube of bubble wrap. I unroll that and discover 7 loose audio tapes. Each tape has a blue number painted on its side, possibly with nail polish. Each side has its own number. 1 and 2 on the first tape, 3 and 4 on the next, 5 and 6, and so on. The last tape has a 13 on one side, but nothing on the back. Who would send me a shoebox full of audio tapes? No one listens to tape anymore. Do I even want to play them? They're garbage. The stereo on the workbench. My dad bought it at a yard sale for almost nothing. It's odd, so he doesn't care if it gets coated with sawdust and splattered with paint, and best of all, it plays tapes. I drag a stool in front of the workbench, drop my backpack to the floor, then sit down. I press eject on the player. A plastic door eases open. I slide in the first tape. Sorry guys, my throat gets really dry sometimes. And I'm sorry, I keep messing up some of the lines. I'll try to get better. Cassette 1, Side A. Hello, boys and girls. Hannah Baker here, live and in stereo. I don't believe it. No return engagements, no encore, and this time, absolutely no repeats. No, I can't believe it. Hannah Baker killed herself. I hope you're ready, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to these tapes, you're one of the reasons why. What? No! I'm not saying which tape brings you into the story, but fear not, if you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now why would a dead girl lie? Hey, that sounds like a joke. Why would a dead girl lie? Answer, because she can't stand up. Is this some kind of twisted suicide note? Go ahead, laugh. Oh well, I thought it was funny. Before Hannah died, she recorded a bunch of tapes. Why? The rules are pretty simple. There are only two. Rule number 1, you listen. Number 2, you pass it on. Hopefully neither one will be easy for you. What's that you're playing? Mom! I scramble for the stereo, hitting several buttons all at once. Mom, you scared me, I say. It's nothing, a school project. My go-to answer for anything. Staying out late? School project. Need some extra money? School project. And now the tapes of a girl who 2 weeks ago swallowed a handful of pills. School project. Can I listen? She asks. It's not mine, I say. I scrape the toe of my shoe against the concrete floor. I'm helping your friend. It's for history. It's boring. Well, that's nice of you, she says. She leans over my shoulder and lifts a dusty rag over one of my old cloth diapers to remove a tape measure hidden underneath. Then she kisses my forehead. I'll leave you in peace. I wait till the door clicks shut. Then I place a finger over the play button. My fingers, my hand, my arm, my neck, everything feels hollow. Not enough strength to press a single button on the stereo. I pick up the cloth diaper and drape it over the shoebox to hide it from my eyes. I wish I had never seen that box or the 7 tapes inside. Hitting play the first time was easy. A piece of cake. I had no idea what I was about to hear. But this time, it's one of the most frightening things I've ever done. I turn up the volume and press play. 1, you listen. Number 2, you pass it on. Hopefully neither one will be easy for you. When you're done listening to all 13 sides, because there are 13 sides to every story, rewind the tapes, put them back in the box, and pass them on to whoever follows your little tale. And you, lucky number 13, you can take the tapes straight to hell. Depending on your religion, maybe I'll see you there. In case you're tempted to break the rules, understand that I did make a copy of these tapes. Those copies will be released in a very public matter if this package doesn't make it through all of you. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. Do not take me for granted. Again. No, there's no way she could think that. You are being watched. Pause. My stomach squeezes it on itself, ready to make me throw up if I let it. Nearby, a plastic bucket sits upside down on a footstool in 2 strides, if I need to. I can reach the handle and flip it over. I hardly knew Hannah Baker. I wanted to. I wanted to know her more than I had the chance. Over the summer, we worked together at a movie theater, and not long ago, at a party, we made out. But we never had the chance to get closer, and not once did I take her for granted. Not once. These tapes shouldn't be here. Not with me. It has to be a mistake. Or a terrible joke. I pull the trash can across the floor. Although I checked it once already, I checked the wrapping again. I return the dress has got to be here somewhere. Maybe I'm just overlooking it. Hannah Baker's suicide tapes are getting passed around. Someone made a copy and someone sent them me as a joke. Tomorrow at school, someone will laugh when they see me, others smirk and look away. And then I'll know. And then, what will I do? I don't know. Play. I almost forgot. If you're on my list, you should have received a map. I let the wrapping fall back into the trash. I'm on the list. A few weeks ago, just days before Hannah took the pills, someone slipped an envelope through the vent in my locker. The outside of the map said, "Save this, you'll need it." In red felt tip marker. Inside was a folded map of the city. About a dozen red stars marked different areas around town. In elementary school, we used to use the same Chamber of Commerce maps to learn about north, south, east, and west. Tiny blue numbers scattered around the map matched up with business names listed in the margins. I kept Hannah's map in my backpack. I meant to show it around school to see if anyone else got it, to see if anyone knew what it meant. But over time it slid beneath my textbooks and notebooks, and I forgot all about it. Till now. Throughout the tapes, I'll be mentioning several spots around our beloved city for you to visit. I can't force you to go there, but if you'd like a little more insight, just head for the stars. Or if you'd like, just throw the map away, and I'll never know. As Hannah speaks to the dusty speakers, I feel the weight of my backpack pressing against my leg. Inside, crushed somewhere around the bottom, is her map. Or maybe I will. I'm not actually sure how this whole dead thing works. Who knows? Maybe I'm standing behind you right now. I lean forward, propping my elbows on the workbench. I let my face fall into my hands, and I slide my fingers back into unexpectedly damp hair. I'm sorry. That wasn't fair. Ready, Mr. Foley? Justin Foley, a senior. He was Hannah's first kiss. But why do I know that? Justin, honey, you were my very first kiss. My very first hand to hold, but you were nothing more than an average guy. I don't say that to be mean. I don't. There was just something about you that made me need to be your girlfriend. To this day, I don't know exactly what that was, but it was there, and it was amazingly strong. You don't know this, but 2 years ago when I was a freshman, you were a sophomore. I used to follow you around. For 6th period, I worked in the attendance office, so I knew every one of your classes. I even photocopied your schedule, which I'm sure I still have here somewhere. And when they go through my belongings, I'll probably toss it away, thinking a freshman crush has no relevance. But does it? For me, yes it does. I went back as far as you to find an introduction to my story, and this really is where it begins. So where am I on the list? Among these stories? Second? Third? Does it get worse as it goes along? She said lucky number 13 could take the tapes to hell. When you reach the end of these tapes, Justin, I hope you'll understand your role in all of this, because it may seem like a small role now, but it matters. In the end, everything matters. Betrayal. It's one of my worst feelings. I know you didn't mean to let me down. In fact, most of you listening probably had no idea what you were doing, what you were truly doing. What was I doing, Hannah? Because I honestly have no idea. That night, if it's that night I'm thinking of, was just as strange for me as it was for you, maybe more so, since I still have no idea what the hell happened. Our first red star can be found in C4. Take your finger over C and drop down to 4. That's right, like Battleship. When you're done with these tapes, you should go there. We only lived in that house a short while. The summer before my freshman year, it's where we lived when we first came to town. Alright, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I'm going to show you where C4 is. As soon as I can find it real quick. Where's her house? Maybe I shouldn't find the house because I can't find it right now. It's very difficult to find this house, and I don't think it's really a big thing either. So let's just keep going with the story, I guess. Sorry if you really want to see the house. But I already saw the map before, and if you want to go back, you can pause the video and look for it. Alright, here we go. And it's where I first saw you, Justin. Maybe you remember, you were in love with my friend Kat. School was still 2 months away, and Kat was the only person I knew, because she lived right next door. She told me you were all over her the previous year. Not literally all over her, just staring and accidentally bumping into her in the halls. I mean, those were accidents, right? Kat told me that at the end of the school dance, you finally found the nerve to do more and then stare and bump into her. The two of you danced every slow song together, and soon she told me she was going to let you kiss her. The very first kiss of her life. What an honor! The story must be really bad, really bad. That's the only reason the tapes are passing on from one person to the next, out of fear. Why would you want to mail out a bunch of tapes blaming you in a suicide? You wouldn't, but Hannah wants us, those of us on the list, to hear what she has to say, and we'll do what she says, passing the tapes on, if only to keep them from people not on the list. The list. It sounds like a secret club, an exclusive club, and for some reason, I'm in it. I wanted to see what you looked like, Justin, so we called you from my house and told you to come over. We called you from my house because Kat didn't didn't want to know where she lived. Well, not yet, even though her house was right next door. You were playing ball. I don't know if it was basketball, baseball, or what, but you couldn't come over until later, so we waited. Excuse me. Sorry. Basketball. A lot of us played that summer, hoping to make JV as freshmen. Justin, only a sophomore, had a spot waiting for him on varsity, so a lot of us played ball with him in hopes of picking up skills over the summer, and some of us did, while some of us unfortunately did not. We sat in my front bay window talking for hours when all of a sudden you and one of your friends, "Hi, Zach," came walking up the street. Zach? Zach Dempsey? The only time I've seen Zach with Hannah, even momentarily, was the night I first met her. 2 streets meet in front of my old house like an upside-down T, so you were walking up the middle road toward us. Pause. Wait, I need to think. I pick at a speck of dry orange paint on the workbench. Why am I listening to this? I mean, why put myself through this? Why not just pop the tape out of the stereo and throw the entire box of them in the trash? I swallow hard. Tears sting the corner of my eyes. Because it's Hannah's voice, a voice I thought I'd never hear again. I can't throw that away. And because of the rules, I look at the shoebox hidden beneath the cloth diaper. Hannah said she made a copy of each of these tapes, but what if she didn't? Maybe if the tapes stop, if I don't pass them on, that's it. It's over. Nothing happens. But what if there's something on those tapes that could hurt me? What if it's not a trick? Then a second set of tapes would be released. That's what she said, and everyone will hear what's on them. A spot of paint flicks off like a scab. Who's willing to test her bluff? Fine. You stepped out of the gutter and planted one foot on the lawn. My dad had the sprinklers running all morning, so the grass was wet, and your foot slid forward, sending you into a split. Zach had been staring at the window, trying to get a better view of Kat's new friend, yours truly, and he tripped over you, landing beside you on the curb. You pushed him off and stood up. Then he stood up. You both looked at each other, not sure what to do. In your decision, you run back down the street while Kat and I laughed like crazy in the window. I remember that. Kat thought it was so funny. She told me about it at her going-away party that summer. The party where I first saw Hannah Baker. God, I thought she was so pretty. And new to this town, that's what really got me. Around the opposite sex, especially back then, my tongue twisted into knots even a Boy Scout would walk away from. But around her, I could be the new and improved Clay Jensen, high school freshman. Kat moved away before the start of school, and I fell in love with the boy she left behind. And it wasn't long until that boy started showing an interest in me, which might have had something to do with the fact that I seemed to always be around. We didn't share any classes, but our classrooms for periods 1, 4, and 5 were at least close to each other. Okay, so 5 was a stretch, and sometimes I wouldn't get there until after you'd left, but periods 1 and 4 were at least in the same hall. At Kat's party, everyone hung around the outside patio, even though it was cold. It was probably the coldest night of the summer, and I, of course, forgot my jacket at home. After a while, I managed to say hello, and a little while later, you managed to say it back. Then one day, I walked by you without saying a word. I knew you couldn't handle that, and it led to our very first mutual conversation. No, that's not right. I left my jacket at home because I wanted everyone to see my new shirt. What an idiot I was. Hey, you said, aren't you going to say hello? I smiled and took a breath, then turned around. Why should I? Because you always say hello. I asked why you thought you were such an expert on me. I said you probably didn't know anything about me. At Kat's party, I bent down to tie my shoe during my first conversation with Hannah Baker, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't tie my stupid shoelace because my fingers are too numb from the cold. To Hannah's credit, she offered to tie it for me. Of course I wouldn't let her. Instead, I waited till Zach inserted himself into our awkward conversation before sneaking outside to thaw my fingers beneath running water. So embarrassing. Earlier when I asked my mom how to get a boy's attention, she said, play hard to get, so that's what I was doing. And sure enough, it worked. You started hanging around my class waiting for me. It seemed like weeks went by before you finally asked for my number. But I knew you eventually would, so I practiced saying it out loud, real calm and confident, like I didn't really care, like I gave it out 100 times a day. Yes, boys at my old school had asked for my number, but here at my new school, you were the first. No, that's not true. But you were the first to actually get my number. It's not that I didn't want to give it out before, I was just cautious. New town, new school, and this time I was going to be in control of how people saw me. After all, how often do you get a second chance? Before you, Justin, whenever anyone asked, I'd say all the right numbers up until the very last one, and then I'd get scared and mess up. Sort of accidentally, on purpose. I had my backpack on my lap and unzipped the largest pocket. I was getting way too easy watching you write down my number. Luckily, you were way too nervous to notice when I finally spat out the last number, the correct number. I smiled so big. Meanwhile, your hand was shaking so bad that I thought you were going to screw it up, and I was not going to let that happen. I pulled out her map and unfolded it on the workbench. I pointed out the number you were writing. That should be a 7, I said. It is a 7. I used a wooden ruler to smooth out the creases. Oh, well, as long as you know it's 7. I do, you said. But you scratched it out anyway and made it an even shakier 7. I stretched the cup on my sleeve into my palm and almost reached over to wipe the sweat from your forehead. Something my mother would have done. But thankfully I didn't. You never would have asked another girl for her number again. Although through the side garage door, Mom calls my name. I lower the volume, ready to hit stop if it opens. Yes? By the time I got home, you'd already called. Twice. I want you to keep working, Mom says, but I need to know if you're having dinner with us. My mom asked who you were, and I said we had a class together. You were probably just calling with a homework question, and she said that's exactly what you had told her. I looked down at the first red star, C4. I know where that is, but should I go there? I couldn't believe it. Justin, you lied to my mom. So why did it make you so happy? No, I say, I'm heading to a friend's house for his project, because our lies matched. It was a sign. That's fine, Mom says. I'll keep some in the fridge, and you can heat it up later. My mom asked what class we had, and I said math, which wasn't a total lie. We both had math, just not together, and not in the same type. Good, Mom said. That's what he told me. I accused her of not trusting her own daughter, grabbed the slip of paper with your number from her hand, and ran upstairs. I'll go there, to the first star, but before that, when this side of the tape is over, I'll go to Tony's. Tony never upgraded his car radio, so he still plays tapes. That way, he says he's in control of the music. If he gets someone to ride and they bring their own music, too bad. The format's not compatible, he tells them. When you answer the phone, I said, Justin? It's Hannah. My mom said you called with a math problem. Tony drives an old Mustang handed down from his brother, who got it from his dad, who probably got it from his dad. At school there are a few loves that compare to the one between Tony and his car. More girls have dumped him out of car envy than my lips have even kissed. You were confused, but eventually you remembered lying to my mom, and like a good boy, you apologized. While Tony doesn't classify as a close friend, we have worked on a couple of assignments together, so I know where he lives. And most important of all, he owns an old Walkman that plays tapes. A yellow one with skinny plastic headset that I'm sure he'll let me borrow. I'll take a few tapes with me and listen to them as I walk through Hannah's old neighborhood, which is only a block or so from Tony's. So, Justin, what's the math problem? I asked. You weren't getting off that easy. Or maybe I'll take the tapes somewhere else, somewhere private, because I can't listen here. Not that Mom or Dad will recognize the voice in the speakers, but I need room to breathe. And you didn't miss a beat. You told me Train A was leaving your house at 3:45. Train B was leaving my house 10 minutes later. You couldn't see this, Justin, but I actually raised my hand like I was at school rather than sitting on the edge of my bed. Pick me, Mr. Foley, pick me, I said. I know the answer. When you called my name, yes, Miss Baker? I threw Mom's hard-to-get rule right out the window. I told you the two trains met at Eisenhower Park at the bottom of the rocket slide. What did Hannah see in him? I never got that. Even she admits she was unable to put her finger on it. But for an average-looking guy, so many girls are into Justin. Sure, he is kind of tall, and maybe they find him intriguing. He's always looking out windows, contemplating something. A long pause at your end of the line, Justin, and I mean a long pause. So when do the trains meet, you asked. 15 minutes, I said. You said 15 minutes seemed awfully slow for two trains going full speed. Whoa, slow down, Hannah. I know what you're all thinking. Hannah Baker is a slut. Oops, did you catch that? I said. Hannah Baker is... Can't stop that anymore. Can't say that anymore. She stops talking. I dragged the stool closer to the workbench. The two spinning spindles in a tape deck, hidden behind a smoky plastic window, pull the tape from one side to the other. A gentle hiss comes to the speakers, a soft static hum. What is she thinking? At that moment, are her eyes shut? Is she crying? Is her finger on the stop button, hoping for the strength to press it? What is she doing? I can't hear. Wrong. Her voice is angry, almost trembling. Hannah Baker is not, and never was, a slut. Which begs the question, what have you heard? I simply wanted a kiss. I was a freshman girl who had never been kissed. Never. But I liked a boy. He liked me, and I was going to kiss him. That's the story. The whole story. Right there. What was the other story? Because I did hear something. The few nights leading up to our meeting in the park, I'd had the same dream. Exactly the same, from the beginning to the end. And for you listening, pleasure, here it is. But first, a little background. My old town had a park similar to Eisenhower Park in one way. They both had the rocket ship. I'm sure it was made by some company because they looked identical. A red nose points to the sky, metal bars run up from the nose all the way to the green fins holding the ship off the ground. Between the nose and the fins are 3 platforms connected by 3 ladders. On the top level is a steering wheel. On the mid-level is a slide that leads down to the playground. On many nights leading up to my first day of school here, I had climbed to the top of the rocket and let my head fall back against the steering wheel. The night breeze blowing through the bars calmed me. I just closed my eyes and think of home. I climbed up there once, only once, when I was 5. I screamed and cried my head off and would not come down for anything, but my dad was too big to fit through the hole, so he called the fire department, and they sent a female firefighter to come up to get me. They must have had a lot of those rescues, because a week later the city announced plans to tear down the rocket slide. I think that's the reason in my dreams my first kiss took place in the rocket ship. It reminded me of innocence, and I wanted my first kiss to be just like that. Innocent. Maybe that's why she didn't red star the park. The rocket might be gone before the tapes make it through the entire red list. So back to my dreams, which started the way you began waiting outside my classroom door, the day I knew you liked me. Hannah took off her shirt and let Justin put his hands up her bra. That's it. That's what I heard happened in the park that night. But wait, why would she do that in the middle of a park? The dream starts with me at the top of the rocket, holding onto the steering wheel. It's still a playground rocket, not a real one, but every time I turn the wheel to the left, the trees in the park lift up their roots and sidestep to the left. When I turn the wheel to the right, they sidestep to the right. Then I hear your voice calling up from the ground, Hannah! Hannah! Stop playing with the trees and come see me! So I leave the steering wheel and climb through the hole in the top platform. But when I reach the next platform, my feet have grown so huge they won't fit through the next hole. Big feet? Seriously? I'm not into dream analysis, but maybe she was wondering if Justin had a big one. I poke my head through the bars and shout, My feet are too big. Do you still want me to come down? I love big feet, you shout back. Come down the slide and see me. I'll catch you. So I sit on the slide and push off, but the wind resistance on my feet makes me go slow. And the time it takes me to reach the bottom of the slide, I notice that your feet are extremely small, almost non-existent. I knew it! You walk to the end of the slide with your arms out ready to catch me, and wouldn't you know it, when I jump off, my huge feet don't step on your little toes. See, we were made for each other, you say. Then you lean in and kiss me, your lips getting closer and closer, and I wake up. Every night for a week, I woke up in the exact same about-to-be-kissed spot. But now, Justin, I would finally be meeting you at the park, at the bottom of that slide, and damn it, you were going to kiss the hell out of me, whether you liked it or not. Hannah, if you kissed back then like you kissed at the party, trust me, he liked it. I told you to meet me there in 15 minutes. Of course, I only said to make sure I got there before you. By the time you walked to the park, I wanted to be inside that rocket all the way up, just like in my dream, and that's how it happened. minus the dancing trees and flunky feet. From my viewpoint at the top of the rocket, I saw you come in at the far end of the park. You checked your watch every few steps and walked over the side, looking around but never up. So I spun the steering wheel as hard as I could to make it rattle. You took a step back, looking up, and called my name. But don't worry, even though I wanted to live out my dream, I didn't expect you to know every single line and tell me to stop playing with the trees and come down. Be right down, I said, but you told me to stop. You climbed up to where I was. So I shouted back, no, let me take the slide. Then you repeated those magical dream-like words, I'll catch you. Definitely beats my first kiss. 7th grade, Andrea Williams, behind the gym after school. She came over to my table at lunch, whispered the proposition in my ear, and I had it blank for the rest of the day. When the kiss was over, 3 strawberry lip glosses, and seconds later, she turned and ran away. I peeked around the gym and watched 2 of my friends each hand her a $5 bill. I couldn't believe it. My lips were a $10 bet. Was that good or bad? Probably bad, I decided, but I've loved strawberry lip gloss ever since. I couldn't help smiling as I climbed down the top ladder. I sat myself on the slide, my heart racing. This was it. All my friends back home had their first kisses in middle school. Mine was waiting for me at the bottom of the slide, exactly as I wanted it. All I had to do was push off, and I did. I knew it didn't really happen like this, but when I looked back, it all happened in slow motion. The push, the slide, my hair flying back behind me, you raising your arms to catch me, Ryan raising my arms so you could. So when did you decide to kiss me, Justin? Was it during your walk to the park? Or did something happen when I slid in your arms? Okay, who out there wants to know my very first thought during my very first kiss? Here it is. Somebody's been eating chili dogs. Nice one, Justin. I'm sorry, it wasn't that bad, but it was the first thing I thought. I'll take strawberry lip gloss any day. I was so anxious about what kind of kiss it would be, because my friends back home described it so many times, and it turned out to be a beautiful kind. You didn't shove your tongue down my throat, and you didn't grab my butt. We just had our lips together and kissed. And that's it. Wait, stop, don't rewind. There's no need to go back, because you didn't miss a thing. Let me repeat myself. That is all that happened. Why, did you hear something else? A shiver ran up my side. Yes, I did. We all did. Well, you're right. Something did happen. Justin grabbed my hand. We walked over to the swings, and we swung. Then he kissed me again the very same way. Then? And then, Hannah, what happened then? Then we left. He went one way, I went the other. Oh, so sorry. You wanted something sexier, didn't you? You wanted to hear how my itchy little fingers started playing with the zipper. You wanted to hear. Well, what did you want to hear? Because I've heard so many stories, I don't know which one is the most popular. But I do know which is the least popular. The truth. Now, the truth is the one you won't forget. I can still see Justin huddled among his friends at school. I remember Hannah walking by the whole group. Stopped talking and averted their eyes, and when she passed, they started laughing. But why do I remember this? Because I wanted to talk to Hannah so many times after Kat's going-away party. But I was too shy, too afraid. Watching Justin and his friends that day, I got the sense that there was more to her than I know. Then later, I heard about her getting felled up by the rocket slide, and she was so new to school that the rumors overshadowed everything else. I knew about her. Hannah was beyond me, I figured, too experienced to even think about me. So thank you, Justin, sincerely. My very first kiss was wonderful, and for the month or so that we lasted, everywhere that we went, the kisses were wonderful. You were wonderful. But then you started bragging. A week went by and I heard nothing. But eventually, as they always will, the rumors reached me, and everyone knows you can't disprove a rumor. I know that what you're thinking. As I was telling the story, I was thinking the same thing myself. A kiss. A rumor based on the kiss made you do this to yourself. No. A rumor based on a kiss ruined a memory that I would have hoped would be special. A rumor based on a kiss started a reputation that other people believed in and reacted to. And sometimes a rumor based on a kiss has a snowball effect. A rumor based on a kiss is just the beginning. Turn the tape over for more. I reach for the stereo ready to press stop. And Justin, honey, stick around. You're not going to believe where your name pops up next. I hold my finger over the button, listening to the soft hum in the speakers, the faint squeak of the spinless winding the tape, waiting for her voice to return. But it doesn't. The story is over. Stop. When I get to Tony's, his Mustang is parked against the curb in front of his house. The hood is propped open, and he and his dad are leaning over the engine. Tony holds a small flashlight while his dad tightens something deep within the wrench. Did it break down, I ask, or is it just for fun? Tony glances over his shoulder, and when he sees me, he drops the flashlight into the engine. Damn. His dad stands up and waves his oily hands across the front of his greased-up t-shirt. Are you kidding? It's always fun. He looks at Tony and winks. It's even more fun when it's something serious. Scowling, Tony reaches in for the flashlight. Dad, you remember Clay? Sure, his dad says. Of course, good to see you again. He doesn't reach forward to shake his hand, and with the great amount of grease smeared on his shirt, I'm not offended. But he's faking it. He doesn't remember me. Oh, hey, his dad says. I do remember you. You stayed for dinner one night. Big on the please and thank you. I smile. After you left, Tony's mom was after us for a week to be more polite. What can I say? Parents like me. Yeah, that's him, Tony says. He grabs his shower rag to clean his hands. So what's going on, Clay? I repeat his words in my head. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, well, since you asked, I got a bunch of tapes in the mail today from a girl who killed herself. Apparently had something to do with it. I'm not sure what it is, so I was wondering if I could borrow your Walkman to find out. Not much, I say. His dad asked if I'd mind getting into the car and starting it for them. The key's in the engine. I sling my backpack over the passenger seat and slide in behind the wheel. Wait! Tony, shine it over here. Tony's hand standing beside the car, watching me. When our eyes meet, they lock and I can't pull away. Does he know? Does he know about the tapes? Tony, his dad repeats. The lights. Tony breaks a stare and leans in with his flashlight. In the space between the dash and the engine, his gaze slips back and forth from me to the engine. What if he's on the tapes? What if his story is right before mine? Is he the one who sent them to me? God, I am freaking out. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe I just look guilty of something he's picking up on that. While I wait for the cue to start the car, I look around. Behind the passenger seat on the floor is the Walkman. It's just sitting there. The headphones cord is wrapped tightly around the player, but what's my excuse? Why do I need it? Tony here, take the wrench and let me hold the flashlight. You're jiggling it too much. I swap flashlight for wrench, and at that moment I grab for the walkie. Just like that, without thinking. The middle pocket of my backpack is open, so I stuff it in there and snip it shut. Okay, Clay, his dad calls. Turn it. I turn the key and the engine starts right up. Through the gap in the dash, watch his dad smile. Whatever he's done, he's satisfied. A little fine-tuning to make her sing, he says over the engine, You can shut it off now, Clay. Tony lowers his hood and clicks it shut. I'll see you inside, Dad. His dad nods, lifts a metal toolbox from the street, bundles up some greasy rags, then heads for the garage. I pull my backpack over my shoulder and step out of the car. Thanks, Tony says. If you didn't show up, we'd probably be out here all night. I slip my arm through the other strap and adjust the backpack. I needed to get out of the house, I say. My mom was getting on my nerves. Tony looks at the garage. Tell me about it. I need to start doing my homework, and my dad wants to tinker under the hood some more. The street lamp overhead flicks on. So, Clay, what'd you come out here for? I feel the weight of the Walkman in my backpack. I was just walking by and saw you outside. Thought I'd say hi. His eyes stare a little long, so I look at his car. I'm heading to Rose's to see what's up, he says. Can I give you a lift? Thanks, but I'm only walking a few blocks. He shoves his hands in his pocket. Where are you off to? God, I hope he's not on the list. But what if he is? What if he already listened to the tapes and knows exactly what is going on in my head? What if he knows exactly where I'm going? Or worse, what if he hasn't received the tapes yet? What if they get sent to him further down the line? If that's the case, he'll remember this moment. He'll remember my stalling, my not wanting to tip him off or warn him. Nowhere, I said. I put my hands in my pockets too. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow. He doesn't say a word, just watches me turn to leave. At any moment, I expect him to yell, Hey, where's my Walkman? But he doesn't. It's a clean getaway. I take a right at the first corner and continue walking. I hear the car's engine start and the crunch of the gravel as the wheels of his Mustang roll forward. Then he steps on the gas, crosses the street behind me, and keeps going. I slide my backpack off my shoulders and drop on the sidewalk. I pull out the Walkman, I wrap the cord and slip the yellow plastic headphones over my head, pushing the tiny speakers and knobs into my ears. Inside my backpack are the first 4 tapes, which are 1 or 2 more than I'll probably have time to listen to tonight. The rest I left at home. I unzipped the smallest pocket and removed the first tape. Then I slid it into the deck, B-side out, and shut the plastic door. And that is where I'll leave off. So I kind of read 3 chapters because if I had stopped in the first chapter, it would have only been like 2 or 3 pages. So I just decided to read the first side of the tape. But that's the second side of the tape. Well, we'll save that for next time. So let's talk about what happened. So Clay Jensen gets a box of tapes from a girl named Hannah Baker who killed herself just a while ago. He's this shocked, and he's wondering what could he have done to cause this. He has no idea what he had done. He thinks that she was a really good girl, and he liked her, and he wanted to spend more time with her, and he was really sad that she passed away. Now I know what he's on the tapes, but I can't say because I'm remembering stuff now. But I think when this happens, everyone blames themselves for not noticing. But it really isn't everyone's fault. I know people always say it is and that it's wrong to not think that, but if she or he, the person that does it, doesn't give any signs, then it isn't your fault. You didn't notice. You didn't know. How could you have known? They didn't go to anyone. And I know that people are going to blame people. And I mean, like, if you did something really bad to that person, yeah, it could be a little bit your fault. But if you don't know this person that well, you didn't ever see any signs from them, then it's not your fault. I know how it feels to lose a friend like that, and it's not your fault, I promise. Anyway, so with Justin, he's a butt. He kissed her, and then he told people that she let him do that gross stuff, and he was doing gross stuff to her. Guys are always mixing the truth, and I'm not saying girls don't do it too, but guys do it more than girls. They're always saying, well, people usually say stuff like that, and it's just messed up. I don't know why somebody would brag about that, or they want it, and then they make the girl out to be a whore or a slut. Nothing happened. You want to know what happened? She kissed him. That's it. They walked home. That's it. I don't know why people always believe in rumors. Yeah, you get one person to say something. He could be lying. They could be lying. She could be lying. Anyone could be lying. You have no idea because you weren't there to witness it. So I wouldn't suggest spreading rumors about someone if you don't know what the entire truth is. Alright, so if you have anything you want to ask or any questions about this, I've read this a couple times, so I know some of it. So if you just want to ask me a question, I can't tell you what's going to happen. You'll have to stay tuned or comment and tell me you want me to do this more. But if you have any questions about anything that happened in the book that I didn't exactly, that if you didn't understand something in the book, or if you want me to say it again because it wasn't very clear when I was talking, then I will. Just message me or comment and I'll do that. If you want me to continue this, then like and comment down below. I have to at least get a couple if I'm going to continue this because most people don't comment and then I don't know if anyone likes it. I just need to be told that if you like it or not, if you want me to continue. If you do, just like and comment and I will. Oh well, I guess that's it for tonight. Good night everyone, thanks for watching.